The desert sun is blazing. The wind howls softly over golden sand. In the distance, rising like giants frozen in time, three pyramids stand. Silent, majestic, unchanged for thousands of years. But the question has never faded. Who built these pyramids? Not just any pyramids, the pyramids of Giza, especially the largest among them, the Great Pyramid of Khufu. It's one of the seven wonders of the ancient world, and it's the only one still standing. Was it slaves dragged from their homes and whipped into labor? Was it aliens, as some people have wildly claimed? Or could it be that the real story is something even more fascinating, hidden under layers of stone, sand, and time? Welcome to Shadows Untouched. And today, we begin a journey back in time, over 4,500 years, to uncover the mystery. Who really built the pyramids of Giza? A kingdom of stone and sky. Let's go back to the beginning, around 2600 BCE, to the time of ancient Egypt's Old Kingdom. At that time, Egypt wasn't a desert of ruins and relics. It was a powerful, organized, and thriving civilization. The Nile River flowed with life, providing water, transportation, and food. On its banks stood bustling villages, farmers, artisans, and priests. Above them all, the pharaoh, seen as a god on earth. The man who began it all was Khufu, also called Cheops by the Greeks. He was the second pharaoh of Egypt's fourth dynasty, and during his reign, he ordered the construction of what would become the Great Pyramid of Giza, a tomb fit for a god. This pyramid would be so perfectly aligned, so precisely measured, and so huge it would inspire awe and wonder for millennia to come. But how could people, without modern machines or tools, build something so massive? Let's take a closer look. What makes the pyramids so mysterious? The Great Pyramid of Khufu was originally 481 feet tall. That's like a 48-story skyscraper made entirely of stone. It used 2.3 million stone blocks, each weighing 2 to 15 tons. Total weight, over 6 million tons. It's aligned with true north more accurately than any modern building until recent times. Its sides match the cardinal directions, north, south, east, and west, with near perfection. Even more amazing, the base is almost completely level, with a difference of less than 1 inch between its four corners. So of course, people ask, how was it done? Who did it? Why? And this is where the story really begins to twist. The old myth, slaves built the pyramids. For years, many people believed the pyramids were built by slaves. This story became popular in books, movies, and even some schools. But guess what? That's not true. There's no evidence that the Great Pyramid was built by slaves. In fact, recent discoveries tell us something completely different. In the 1990s, archaeologists uncovered workers' villages right next to the pyramids, complete with bakeries, sleeping quarters, cemeteries, and tools. These were not prisons. They were well-organized communities. The bones found in the graves were of healthy, well-fed men, with signs of hard labor, but also signs of medical care. Some had healed bones, meaning they were treated and respected. These were skilled workers, builders, engineers, masons, and craftsmen, people who took pride in their work. They weren't slaves. They were likely paid laborers, possibly farmers who worked on the pyramids during the flood season, when their fields were underwater and they had free time. So the old myth is just that, a myth. How did they do it? Let's pause. Imagine this. You're standing in front of the Great Pyramid. Each block is taller than a man. And somehow, they moved over 2 million of them into perfect position without trucks, cranes, or metal tools. How? There are several theories. Let's explore the most important ones. 1. The ramp theory. Most scholars believe the Egyptians built massive ramps made of mud brick or limestone rubble. As the pyramid rose, the ramp rose with it, allowing workers to drag stones up to each level using wooden sleds. But there's a catch. The ramp would have to be enormous, even bigger than the pyramid itself. So other versions suggest spiral ramps wrapping around the pyramid as it grew. Still, no full ramp has ever been found, making this theory likely, but still incomplete. Number 2. Water and sand method. In 2014, researchers found ancient wall paintings showing workers pouring water in front of sleds carrying stone blocks. The water may have helped reduce friction, making it easier to drag the stones over sand. This small trick could have made a big difference, and it shows how smart the Egyptians really were. 3. Levers and counterweights. Some engineers believe levers were used to lift stones into place. Others suggest counterweights and pulleys, though there's no solid proof of this in Egyptian records. The truth is, we still don't know exactly how it was done, but we do know it was human intelligence, not magic or aliens. Which brings us to the next big question. What about the alien theory? Yes, we've all heard it. Aliens built the pyramids. This idea was popularized by Erich von Däniken in the 1960s. In his book Chariots of the Gods, he claimed that ancient people couldn't have built the pyramids alone, so they must have had help from outer space. But there's a big problem. There's zero evidence. No alien artifacts, no advanced technology, no ancient records mentioning flying saucers. What we do have is proof of quarry marks on stones, workers' graffiti inside the pyramid, ancient tools made of copper, written records, and planning texts. So, while the alien theory sounds fun, it actually disrespects the genius of ancient people. The truth is more human and more amazing. They didn't need aliens. They had organization, intelligence, and a dream that reached the stars. Who were these builders? Recent excavations reveal a new side of the story. The builders were not one group, they were teams, rotating crews working in shifts. They were likely divided into groups of around 200 workers each, with names like the Friends of Khufu, the Drunkards of Menkaure. Yes, these were real team names, found written inside the stones themselves. They worked under master builders, possibly directed by royal architects and priests. The pharaoh's orders would have come down through a chain of command, like a massive construction company run by the state. They were fed meat, fish, onions, and beer, all paid for by taxes collected from the people. And they weren't building just for money. They were building a monument to eternity. To them, the pyramid wasn't just a build, it was a bridge between Earth and the afterlife. So far, we've uncovered who the builders were, what tools they may have used, and why the old myths of slavery or aliens fall apart under real evidence. But this is only half the story, because next we go even deeper into the spiritual meaning of the pyramids. We'll explore the tombs inside, the hidden chambers, the secrets of the king's soul, and why these massive structures still matter today. This is not just a story about how pyramids were built. It's a story about what the pyramids meant. If this journey into the world of the pyramids sparked your curiosity, don't let the mystery end here. The desert wind is still. The sun casts a golden glow across the Great Pyramid. But now we go deeper, not around it, not over it, but inside. This is where the story gets darker, quieter, and more mysterious. Entering the Great Pyramid. If you were to walk into the Great Pyramid of Khufu today, you wouldn't be greeted by golden walls or treasures. You'd find narrow passageways, claustrophobic corridors, silent, steep shafts climbing upwards in eerie silence. There are no writings on the walls, no paintings, no hieroglyphics. It's just smooth stone. It's not what people expect, but that's part of what makes it so powerful. The pyramid holds three main chambers: the subterranean chamber, deep underground, the queen's chamber, midway up, the king's chamber, high near the center. Let's climb, step by step. The subterranean chamber, mystery below. Carved deep into the bedrock beneath the pyramid is the subterranean chamber. It was never finished. Its walls are rough, its ceiling is high, but the room feels incomplete, almost forgotten. Why was it abandoned? Some believe it was the original burial site before plans changed. Others say it was symbolic, a connection to the underworld, a place where the journey of the soul begins. Still, no body, no treasure, and no clues were ever found inside. So we climb higher, the queen's chamber, but no queen. Next is the queen's chamber, though no queen was buried there. Its name is misleading. This room may have served a ritual purpose, possibly to hold a statue of the pharaoh, or to perform secret rites preparing the king for the afterlife. Two small shafts lead out of the room, so small no human could crawl through them. For years, no one knew where they went. Then in 2002, a robot called Upuaut 2 explored one of the shafts and discovered a sealed stone door with copper handles. Behind that, another door, and beyond that, a tiny empty space. Was it symbolic, a hidden chamber, a trap? No one knows. The king's chamber. Now we arrive at the heart of the structure, the king's chamber. It's a simple rectangular room made of giant red granite blocks, each weighing over 25 to 70 tons. They were brought from Aswan, now over 500 miles away. Inside the chamber sits a large stone sarcophagus. It's cracked and empty. No body, no mummy, no treasures. So was Khufu ever buried here? Many scholars believe he was, but his body was either stolen or moved long ago. But the room isn't just important because of what was inside, it's important because of how it was built. Above the chamber are 5 granite relieving chambers, carefully stacked to protect the king's burial from the crushing weight of the stones above. Even more incredible, the ceiling of the king's chamber is made of beams so large modern cranes would struggle to lift them, and they were placed with mathematical precision. This wasn't just engineering. This was sacred architecture. A tomb or a stargate? The ancient Egyptians believed death was not the end. It was the beginning of a new journey to the afterlife. The pyramid was not just a tomb. It was a machine for the soul. The long, narrow shafts inside the pyramid aren't random. They point towards specific stars. The northern shaft of the king's chamber points to Thuban, the north star of that time. The southern shaft points to Orion's belt associated with the god Osiris. The queen's chamber shafts point towards Sirius, the star of the goddess Isis. Why? Because in death, Khufu's soul was meant to rise into the sky, joining the stars and the gods. The pyramid was a launch pad for immortality, a ladder to the heavens. Sacred geometry. Here's where things get even more mysterious. The measurements of the Great Pyramid aren't just random. They hold strange mathematical coincidences. The perimeter of the pyramid, divided by its height, gives a number very close to 2 pi. The layout of the 3 pyramids matches the alignment of the stars in Orion's belt. The base of the Great Pyramid is almost a perfect square, less than 1-inch error over 756 feet. Some researchers believe this shows an understanding of astronomy, geometry, and even the Earth's dimensions, far beyond what people thought ancient civilizations knew. Did the Egyptians do this on purpose? Or did they stumble into cosmic math by accident? That is still up for debate. Let's not forget the human hands that made this wonder. We know some of their names. On the inside of the Great Pyramid, hidden in chambers never meant to be seen, workers left graffiti written in red paint. The Friends of Khufu, the Gang of the Horus Majedu. These were not grand inscriptions. They were personal marks, team names, left behind like a builder signs a beam today. It's proof that real people, not gods or aliens, raised this monument stone by stone, and they were proud of it. The Pyramid Builders Village. Just outside the pyramids, archaeologists uncovered a lost city, the Pyramid Workers Village. It had dormitories, grain silos, bakeries, even massive cattle bones, proof that workers ate well, not like slaves. In the workers' graves, scientists found healed injuries, arthritis from hauling stones, and even signs of emergency surgery. This tells us they were cared for and valued. It also shows how organized Egyptian society was. Building pyramids wasn't chaos. It was a national project combining engineers, doctors, cooks, artists, and laborers, a society united by one goal: to build eternity. The legacy of the pyramid. The Great Pyramid stood taller than any structure in the world for over 3,800 years. Even today, it inspires architects, historians, conspiracy theorists, and dreamers. It stands not because of its stones, but because of the people who imagined it was possible. And maybe that's the answer we've been looking for. Who built the pyramids? Not just Khufu, not just laborers or priests. A civilization did. A people who looked at the sky and said, let's build something that will last forever. And they did. As the sun sets over Giza, the stones glow orange. Tourists return to their buses, the sand cools, and the pyramid still stands, silent, massive, watching. You've just walked through over 4,500 years of history, wonder, mystery, and human determination. The question isn't who built the pyramids. It's how did they dream so big? If you were drawn into this story, if it made you feel like you were walking through ancient Egypt yourself, then don't stop here. Subscribe to Shadows Untouched for more journeys into forgotten places, unsolved mysteries, and the wonders that still shape our world. Like this video if you learned something new. Comment below. Do you think there are still secrets hidden inside the Great Pyramid? Until next time, stay curious, stay thoughtful, and keep your eyes on the Shadow Untouched.